So when things scare you, but you know it's good for your growth, will you avoid it or will you lean in and accelerate? This week, I noticed how I made some audacious steps the week before and how it kind of also, stopped me from my tracks. It wasn't me taking those steps that stopped me, it was more the outcomes. And that really interested me because I thought the scariest thing was taking a step in the first place, right? But it's more like, let's say you have this exam at school and you're waiting to hear the grade that you got. I remember back in the days, especially if it was a very important grade, how scary it was to open, like I think we used Blackboard back then. I'm not sure if that's still being used to see, the grade behind my name. And that's kind of how I experienced it. Every time I would hear feedback, I noticed how it was slowing me down. Later this week, I made a decision. You know what? I'm going to do something audacious every day now. Not per se talking about the weekends, but definitely during the week. I want to make an audacious step for specifically my business every day and really sit down and be very intentional about that. And the whole point is building that muscle, building that ability to get better in receiving no's or detours or no answers at all, or whatever. Because I know now, and that's the good thing about being over 40, like I feel that if I had the wisdom and the know-how of what I have now, and even the tools that I have now, if I had that 20 years ago, I would have been somewhere completely different, which makes sense because wisdom comes when you get older. But I don't feel like I need to spend so much time on, achieving what I desire to achieve. And it's not even about achievement and success. It's mostly about just the thrill of life and getting most out of it and being an audacious spirit that sees the world as this huge playfield. And I don't want to be stopped by my tracks all the time with all these emotions and, oh, what will they think? And, oh, whatever it could be. And so I noticed that and I was like, I have the tools. I have the tools to know how I can deal with that. And I I just want to do more, be more audacious, go faster, live without those invisible chains that are all keeping us small, protecting us. And I'm not talking about real danger and I'm not talking about real fear, meaning jumping off a cliff or something. I did that once. It didn't end up well. Um, I'm really talking about the needle that you need to move to get from A to B, because a lot of times we're afraid of the outcome, you know? And that should never be a reason to stop or to slow down. Yeah, you learn from stuff, don't get me wrong. But, I once heard this founder, I think it was the founder of Spanx who said that. I'm pretty sure it was her. She shared that her dad taught her early on to celebrate failure. And for me, that was new. Like, I've never heard that before. I always thought that failure was something you want to avoid like the freaking plague. And even though her story was like a fresh breath of air to hear that new perspective on how her dad taught her to celebrate failures, but for someone who was basically groomed a different way, it is still something that I have to face all the time. That fear of failure and rewrite that story. And this is me taking back that steering wheel to put myself out there even more, not with more effort, but with more boldness, um, with more play and fun around it. The whole theme of my year is create. And that's how I started this journey too of showing up every day on YouTube, is to create every day. And what creation asks from me is to become more limitless and more boundless. And this move to add this to that list of, hey, I'm going to do something audacious every day for my business, is to complement that movement of creation. That I'm not going to be the person that's going to stall, that I'm not going to be the one that is going to slow down. And I'm not saying that slowing down is bad. Actually, me being right here is me slowing down. There's bugs everywhere. After a very busy week, um, I'm slowing down and enjoying the scenery and grounding and all of that. But it's always so that I can accelerate my pace and have my focus. And so why not, help others with that too? I have been doing some audacious things. And one of it was me announcing that I'm gonna help people with what I do in the background, like the somatic practice and the mental shift that I help myself with and my clients with. But I want to make a product of that so that I can help you guys with that too if you're interested. I would not be able to say, oh, I'm going to do an audacious move every day if it wasn't for having this toolkit by my side and knowing that, it works. Because whenever you do something like an adventurous uh, move in your business or in your life, you come into uncharted territories, it's unknown. I know how to help myself expand with that and how to deal with that. And so let's just make it a daily practice now where I can do things and help my nervous system with that expansion as well, because my spirit wants to go so much faster. We need everything on board. We need our body on board. We need our mental space on board. And I know that this is going to help me. So why not help others with that too? I actually created a link so that whoever is interested can already register for the pre-launch and they will have an early bird price. And I will have all the details in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode.